So, hopefully I wasn't blocking the sound. One of the guys up here, John, he makes these insanely good ribs. So I'm eating the last of them. That's I spent all day at a coffee shop in town, being available to help work on specific projects. But mainly what I need to do now is be available and wait for some configuration details. In the meantime, I started digging into a different topic that I left behind in college. During my freshman year in college, for several months, I became like unconsolably depressed. And the reason why is that I was reading into and researching about climate change. I basically consciously made a decision to can it, to be like, I can't do anything about this right now. I couldn't think about it. It was like, it got unhealthy. So up here in Michigan, the lake water levels are way down. The fish population isn't really there to go fishing. And this lake in particular, it's been record highs for the past 5 months in a row, like in recorded history kind of deal. So I'm making light of this casually as I speak about it now, but it's actually an issue of extremely high emotional valence for me. So I'm bringing it back up and thinking about it again. I'm looking into it again. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is get a meetup together in St. Louis, because the difference between now and college is that I actually know how to build things. I know how to tackle complex problems. I know how to do stuff. I can actually start getting tracked like this. I can actually turn this into a tractable problem for myself. So the first thing that I'm going to do is simply put that social pressure on myself and make it so it's not a lonely thing. And I'm gonna get a meetup together. I don't know what it's gonna be called yet, but when I have the proper incentives, I can throw extremely awesome meetups. So I think I'm gonna do that here, but this time I'm gonna think very carefully about how I set everything up, because I made a couple of major mistakes at the last meetup that I threw. This might be an interesting blog post, I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about it more. Right now, I'm thinking about a whole bunch of things, but before the end of this week, I want to have thought of a decent enough name to go on, so I can start like putting together websites, putting together materials, running it by people, all that kind of stuff. The name can change, but I need to have a working one. And so next up, I need to go find where everybody is. Nobody's at the place where I'm at, eating ribs. But then after I'm done with this, gotta go find where they are and then enjoy the festivities. Tonight I'm gonna try and get a time lapse of the sunset here because they're beautiful. For the meantime, I'm gonna go try and find everyone else. But a really interesting question kind of comes up, and that is, how do you manage despair? How do you fight despair? So like the whole climate change thing, what I succumbed to in college was despair. I'm not sure. I'll need to investigate that, because I bet there's a specific way of thinking, a specific sequence of words that's really effective at changing it from this crippling, paralyzing thing into merely an obstruction, an irritation, something like that. So I think getting all these thoughts down, getting all these ideas down, getting them in front of other people, and then seeing where that goes is probably the best course of action for right now.